All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99, all boxing everything. Make sure y'all subscribe. All right, y'all, back with my post-fight thoughts on Charlo or Canelo versus Charlo. All right, y'all, so what can I say, man? Pretty much how I felt like this fight was going to go. Boxing math added up on this one. I mean, Canelo just too big, too strong, too experienced in these higher weight classes for a guy like Jermell Charlo, So I can't really, take away from Jermell as far as just saying, he's this timid boxer, that he doesn't know how to capitalize. I mean, this is his first time moving up to such a high weight. And when it comes down to it, if you don't really have that it factor, if you don't have that natural power or anything like footwork to get the respect of Canelo Alvarez, you're not going to go in there and beat him. Canelo, he'll pretty much walk you down and do what he does, physically break you down, hit you in the arms, hit you in the hips, hit you in the body, and just, out-punch you and out-fight you and out-box you. And that's pretty much what Canelo Alvarez did in this fight. And as much as I wanted to see Jermell rise to the occasion, I wanted to see him win as a fan. But when it came down to it, I had to go with Canelo Alvarez as far as just the more reasonable pick here. You're talking about the bigger, stronger boxer who, like I said, has been fighting at these higher weight classes now for some time, right? So I picked Canelo Alvarez by decision. I didn't really think he was going to go in there stop Jermell, because I knew Jermell was durable. I knew Jermell would have that durability moving up because, they said before, a couple years ago, Jermell walks around at 200 pounds. So I figure, okay, Jermell, once he moves up a couple of weight classes, he might not have the power or the boxing ability to get through to Canelo, but he'll be able to absorb punches because, he's a big fighter. I mean, he did get dropped in this fight. I think it was more so strategy to avoid, getting overwhelmed or getting hurt. It was a smart decision on his part since he was close near the ropes. He didn't want to absorb too many big shots, but it was a knockdown. It was a legit knockdown. But throughout this fight, I mean, Canelo Alvarez just did what he always did. He didn't gas out in this fight. He just kind of fought at a safe pace because he didn't really have to worry about big punches coming back at him, like when he fought Dimitri Bivol or even some of these other guys, like Triple G, or even the speed of Caleb Plant at times, In this type of fight, he pretty much picked the spots where he wanted to punch. And when he knew that he was in range before Jermell could really get off, he was being first, once again, with that tricky left hook to the body and to the hips, he'll feint like he's going to throw a jab or throw it to the head and he hits you to the body with it. Same with the right hand. He's still throwing that same right hand that physically, impairs his opponents. He's hitting you on the bicep or hitting you on the arm. He's consistently doing that to Jermell Charlo in this fight. But I like Canelo's jab in this fight. He had an effective jab. When he got on the inside, he would snap it back in Jermell's face. Or like when Jermell was trying to feint and wait, and he was waiting a couple of seconds too long, pop, Canelo would hit him in the face with a straight jab. He would hit him with that straight jab and back him into the ropes, fire off a couple of good combinations and hit him with that overhand right. So it was just like a all-around boxing clinic for Canelo Alvarez. The bigger, stronger boxer, he was just, getting off first and getting off with the better shots. Now, Jermell, he had some success as far as landing on Canelo, but he wasn't getting Canelo's respect with the power. He landed some good left hooks on Canelo. He clipped Canelo a couple of times with some hard shots, like hard left hooks, one at a time, though. But they just didn't have the power to hurt. They were on the money shots, but they just didn't have the pop on them to hurt Canelo Alvarez. Every now and then when Jermell would let off a combination, he would let off a 3 or 4 punch combination. The fourth or the third shot would land on Canelo, and then Canelo still coming forward, So, yeah, Canelo just too much for a guy like Jermell Charlo, who's just a junior middleweight, you know what I mean? So, to me, I don't take away from Jermell Charlo in this fight. I don't take away from him at all because, like I said, he's a good boxer for where he's at, 154, but if he's going to move up in weight, he's going to have to get different looks, and he's going to have to make adjustments as he moves up. That's the type of fighter he is. He's not like a Floyd or he's not like a Roy that has these other natural abilities that just come naturally to him, and they can, they can take over a whole weight class with just their athleticism or just their pure defensive skill sets. You know what I mean? When Floyd goes from 135 to 147 or 140 to 147 to 154, he's always got some for each weight class, to carry him through fights. Again, like Roy Jones going from 60 all the way up to heavyweight, in between, there was always something that he could depend on, whether it was the speed, the power, the orthodox style that carried him throughout light heavyweight. Roy may not have had the power at 175 like he did 168, but he had that doubles and triples combination style. He had the speed to get out of the way, Whereas at 168, he had the power to knock all the guys he fought at 168 out, So if you don't really have those type of abilities, it's going to be a long night for you, especially if you're taking on the best in the division. So Jermell going straight from undisputed 154 to undisputed 168, there's different things that you have to grow into, and that's the strength and, adjusting your speed. And then on top of that, Jermell hadn't fought in over a year. Jermell haven't fought in over a year. So it's like he's going from 154 to 168 after a year layoff, 2 weight classes up. Shoot, yeah, he's lucky he made it out of there not getting totally brutalized, like ribs broken or bicep torn like Caleb Smith, or knocked out, flat on his face like Caleb Plant. I mean, Caleb Plant did win some more rounds against Canelo Alvarez, but I mean, at least for Jermell, who just moved up, he didn't take too much damage in this fight, and I think that was the whole game plan, is maybe take this fight as a risk, but don't go in there and risk it all, where you'll take that type of Kell Brook damage when he moved up to fight Gennady Golovkin, right? So when you move back down, you won't be damaged goods for your natural weight class, right? So yeah, pretty much I had it 11 rounds to 1, maybe even 12 rounds to 0. I probably gave Jermell that one round. I think it was round 5, when he was letting off more combinations and he was stepping side to side and just getting off before Canelo. But then after that, Canelo just turned it on, putting the strength on Jermell and just, outlanding him again, just the harder puncher, the harder puncher in this type of fight. But hey, that's what it is, man. That's just what it is. Canelo Alvarez, the bigger, stronger, experienced fighter. I couldn't pick against him going into this one. From here, I mean, Canelo Alvarez, I like to see him in there with Benavidez. I know people get mad, but I can't give Canelo full credit for he beat this dominant champion, or you know what I mean, this guy who was this big threat to him, like a Benavidez, because again, Jermell was out for a year. He moved up 2 weight classes. So I even said in my previous video that I didn't think this was such a smart move for him. And, for Canelo, it doesn't really add to the legacy like that. It doesn't add to the legacy like that because he just fought a guy moving up 2 weight classes on a long layoff, For Jermell, I mean, yeah, he dared to be great in this one, but did he really? I mean, did he go all out and lay it all on the table? Did he take every single risk that he could at every moment in this fight? I don't know, I don't think that he did just go right after him. I mean, I give him credit for lasting 12 rounds, but could he have fought harder? I'm sure he could have, you've seen some guys that when they have that moment, they'll go in there and they'll just go straight at a dude, and it might cost them, they might get knocked out, but you'll see them get more opportunities, or maybe even hurt that guy. But, I think Jermell at some point in the fight, he was kind of just in survival mode because he just couldn't get off those combinations enough, or he just didn't want to, because he knows when he steps in, he was going to get countered by Canelo Alvarez, So Canelo Alvarez may not be quick on the feet, but, as far as his eyes and, how he moves his upper body, he is much quicker than Jermell Charlo at that, right? But yeah, if you really weren't bringing that boxing IQ like Floyd, and you didn't have that good somewhat concussive power like a Bivol, or, that physical strength and speed like Bivol, then you weren't really going to go in there and beat. I didn't think Charlo was going to go in there and beat Canelo. But yeah, from here, man, Jermell just moved back down to 154, take on Tim Tszyu or Crawford. I really don't want to see Crawford versus Canelo. I think Canelo needs to move on to Benavidez, or even take on not Dimitri Bivol, because I think Bivol will beat him again. But I think Beterbiev will beat Canelo. But I'd rather see him fight Beterbiev than Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford, I think moving up to 168 would be too big of a risk for him. Stay in your realm where you could do the Spence fight against Spence rematch for more money, Jermell fight, Tim Tszyu, Jaron's boots in. Is all of those fights are more in Terrence Crawford's realm before he retires. But for Canelo, he's already in this. He's already in this like stacked weight class now, where he's too big and too strong for some of these little guys moving up. He needs to just stick to the guys that are going to be challenges that make him have to make adjustments in fights like Beterbiev and so on, and Benavidez. So yeah, moving on from here, Canelo needs to just stay up here 168. Jermell stay down 154. Tim Tszyu fight, Crawford fight. They got those fights for him. But yeah, guys, it was okay fight. Wasn't like this big classic matchup for me. I know the Canelo diehard fans, they love this fight a lot, but I was just kind of like, it's just a fight where guys trying to, dare to be great somewhat, but it wasn't something I asked for. But yeah, guys, let me know what y'all thought of the fight. Canelo dominated. Jermell Charlo, let's move on. At least Jermell's still undisputed from here. Combo Breaker 99, I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.